Welcome in to the DAT Extra podcast. Today, Greg Lavan, Heather Moore, Chris Hill, Andrew, and Ethan Steiner stop in to visit about the Spring into Opportunity at Pine Tree, the sale that's happening on Saturday, April 13th at the Wayne County Fairgrounds in Worcester, Ohio. It's predominantly a Jersey sale. 16 of the lots are polled, 15 of the lots are sired by daughter-proven sires. 14 of these lots are out of excellent dams. Andrew and Ethan Steiner have plenty to say about some of these consignments. Let's get into talking about the Spring into Opportunity at Pine Tree. What was the impetus for this sale?
We've had a few sales over the years and just wanted to do a Jersey-only sale. When we got thinking about how we'd like to do it, we saw some value in maybe doing it with live cattle rather than just an online sale. And we really like Jersey marketing's ability to make it happen.
Okay, so give us a little bit of background on the Jersey genetics at Pine Tree, because I know most people, when they think of Pine Tree Dairy, they think of Holsteins. Give us some background on your Jersey genetics there, just kind of an overview.
My brother Matthew Jr. was interested in it way back, probably 10 or 12 years ago. From that beginning, we've grown it to now where it's 30 or 40% of our herd. Just like our Holsteins, our marketing focus has been trying to put bulls in AI. And so we've used Jersey blood that's generally free agent bulls and tried to make females and males that are available for the most part. And our focus has been health traits, cow families, and we have a soft spot for components. I think that's probably a good overview.
What's the soft spot for components? Maybe you could tell us a little bit why that's there.
Yeah, we milk at 5 facilities, and 2 of them are paid extra premium for protein. And we're definitely in a cheese market with at least 3 of our herds. And so actually our Holstein and Jersey program, both we focus on components.
Chris, you've been in the box for decades, selling at different sales all over the country. What does the Pine Tree name mean for our industry, and why will people want to be a part of this?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you for having me on today. Thank JMS for having me do their sales in Pine Tree, for the invitation to be a part of this event. I visited Pine Tree on several occasions, but most recent was on my way to Louisville this year. And I got to tour around with Nate quite a bit, and he showed me the herd. And funny thing was, he had to call Hannah every time he had a pedigree question. So that young lady is just extremely intelligent. She knows the herd inside and out. And we visited for probably an hour and a half to 2 hours. And to tell you the truth, I was just flabbergasted. They have jerseys that blow your mind. Their Holsteins are just... I wouldn't call them commercial cows. I'd call them just a notch above, because these cows milk their hearts out. They've got the greatest cow families of all the breeds that they're involved with, be it Holstein, Jerseys, or the few brown Swiss they have. But the cool thing about Pine Tree to me is the Steiner family has always had that niche to think outside the box. And in today's market, and with the marketability of especially jerseys, thinking outside the box often proves profit. And when a Pine Tree animal comes into the ring at a sale, it doesn't matter what kind of sale it is, you can see people perk up, because be it crossover, be it genomic, be it type, they're always participating. And you got to watch, when they participate, what they buy is oftentimes very, very unique. And as I said before, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but it's outside the box, and they run with it, and they prove it profitable to be in that niche market.
Greg, you've obviously dealt with the Pine Tree having JMS manage the sale. Tell us what Pine Tree has done for the Jersey breed.
They've just been fabulous to work with over the course of the last few years. As Chris said, they bring a different perspective to things, and that has really caused some people to kind of wake up and pay attention a little bit more, rather than just following the same old path. Whether it's the way they market things by, as Andrew was talking about, making things be free agent females and males, whether it's the focus on the components, as he was talking about. There's just that that ability to, like I said, think outside the box and cause people to think differently from what the conventional wisdom has always been. And they've been great supporters of JMS over the course of the last few years. You know, the highest selling female that JMS has ever sold was through the National Heifer Sale back in 2019 up in New York. And they've been, we'll talk about it a little bit later as we get through some of these cow families, but the National Heifer Sale, and I think Chris would second this, they've been great supporters of that and really have made some of these sales really, really successful for us over the last few years.
Very much so.
Heather, you've been doing the social media, and Greg says that you've seen the cattle in the past couple of weeks. Give us a synopsis of what you've been looking at.
Well, my relationship with Steiner started years ago when I was scoring cows for Jersey, and I got the pleasure of working with Andrew and scoring the herd, the handful at Home Farm and the Jersey herd. So I've had a lot of visits with them over the last 7-8 years, and I've always been struck with the fact that those cows are always immaculately cared for, well-fed, high-producing, and what you see in the sale barn or in the sale ring is exactly what you're going to see when you go visit the farm. The cow quality that they sell is the cow quality they raise. We were there last week, Andrew and I. We were working with a handful of couple lots and a couple dams of several lots, and, the cows just, they look phenomenal. And, nobody was bagged, nobody was prepped, butters were clipped, and that was it. And you get what you see. And I have always appreciated that about the Steiner farm and family. It's very transparent. There's no secrets. They just all work really hard for the product that they're selling, and everybody puts their heart into it.
Talking about some of those cow families that Greg mentioned and that Heather mentioned, let's start with Manhattan 13947. What is selling from this cow, and what makes her so special?
And first off, Heather was our very first classifier appraisal for jerseys. We always had a good memory of that. Back to the Manhattan cow, though. You know how you have to make deals, Chris, to have auction?
Yep.
So, in this case, you mentioned Hannah earlier. Hannah and I had to make a deal in order to have this auction. Deal was we could have this jersey auction as long as I didn't hint that we would sell Manhattan. So Manhattan as a young heifer, a calf. Oh, it was in a private auction. I believe it was at the end. It was us and Vieira or C-Mex contending on her. Paid a lot for her, and I've been just very pleased with how it's turned out. I'll talk to one of the other two to talk.
I mean, we had her pictured. We were in the pen with her on Tuesday. How many hours of milk did she have in her then, Andrew?
We had maybe 12.
Yeah, so we weren't overbagged. We weren't pushing her, and the quality in that udder, the production that's obviously there. I mean, those milk records on her pedigree don't lie. It's incredibly believable that her first lactation, she smashed 21,000 works and looks phenomenal doing it.
Yeah, she's a big, strong cow for Jersey, and that's what we like about her. She's kind of one of our ideal jerseys, being strong with a great udder and high genomic. I'll pass it on.
This cow is the perfect example of what we often refer to as dairy strength. It's that combination of strength and dairiness is just it's from the tip of her muzzle all the way to the back end. She's just a tremendous cow all the way back through there, and I'm not afraid to say I think she's probably the best looking thrasher daughter out there in the country. And I think, Chris, I heard you mention at one time, this cow could even show in some kind of shows too. She's that good the way she's put together.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, she's when that day when I was walking around with Nate and she came around the corner and I said, "Goodness gracious, what is she?" And he said, "Well, that's the Thrasher Manhattan cow." And I said, "Okay, can," and I just started stuttering. I said, "Can I have an IVF session for Bright Futures, or can I have her? Can we buy her? What's her price?" He gave you one of those Steiner smiles, like only in your dreams. But he did end up, and they gave us what was it, Andrew? 5 embryos for our Bright Futures sale, and I think they bought 1,600. And Seals is out in Oregon bought them, and they're another family that really knows what to buy. But the cow's just incredible, and obviously, by the way everybody talks, she does everything right as well.
Yes, a few details on her. She's one of those that, you buy as a calf and pay a lot, and then kind of does everything right. Scored well as a 2-year-old, scored well, great fresh second lactation, went 91. She has 2 sons that seem available at CRB right now. And from her, we're selling an IVF session, and we're selling a lot of Julius embryos, female ones, and then a couple of calves, and embryos from her daughter, her boss daughter. In the end, our Jersey program is being offered in whole, except for 3 key parts of our Jersey program. We're kind of letting everything go except for Manhattan and her boss daughter and a Thrasher calf that we like. Otherwise, we're trying to make this a sale with value, and so we just had to put everything we thought was good in the sale. Thanks.
Okay, so you have some donor dams selling in lots 6 through 8. Tell us about those. How have they performed as IVF animals? And, obviously you wanted to make everything available. What are the strengths of these animals, these donor dams that are selling?
Oh, that's a good question. Lot 6 is the Faria jalapeno heifer. She just got checked pregnant, so she's ready to go. She's probably a mediocre IVF producer at best, but she has sold a handful of IVFs and filled them. We bought her last year at Ethan Thomas's sale, and I've just been really pleased with how she seems to go up in genomics all the time, and has a really neat combination of butter and milk that's kind of sought after in some markets.
I would also add that she's over 7 on a productive life, which with the change in the reformulation of JPI, productive life has taken on a little bit more of an emphasis in there, and that 7-1 productive life is outstanding. And combine that with the 198 JPI and the 21 JUI, and on top of that, the number 19 cheese merit heifer in the breed. This heifer offers the opportunity to keep making a lot more as we move forward with them. And jalapeno is also a popular bull. So you're with that combination on top of a Thrasher dam, there's tremendous opportunities moving forward with a heifer like this.
Lots 7 and 8?
Yes, those are 2 really interesting heifers from Albrights. We bought them last year in Jersey Marketing auctions, and the Colonel is just a really pleasing heifer with some unique traits. And the Chief, I have in the catalog the white heifer. I put down that she's 30% white. That might even be conservative. Chief look with a lot of white, and I always tease the team that we should try to find the whitest Jersey bull and try to create a purebred white Jersey. So I guess we'll leave that out there as an option for some creative Jersey breeder who wants to start a new line.
There you go, thinking outside the box.
What are we going to call them?
And Melissa, Lot 8 was also the top seller at last year's National Heifer Sale in Wisconsin.
Okay, there you go. What cow families do you have out of those that you bought in the National Heifer Sale?
Oh, I think a lot of them represented in the sale. Mm-hmm. And I just want to put a plug in. I know this sounds like a sales pitch to buy in our auction, but the fact is that a lot of our cows in the Holstein side and the Jerseys result from purchases. It's not like we have a long, huge, forever cow families. And in fact, we sometimes feel like cow families just need a little freshening up sometimes. So it's been a real benefit for us buying new cows, new families, and which I know it sounds like I'm selling that people should buy, but it is sometimes easier to buy a great heifer than to make one. That's all.
Well, sure. That's what we're here for, is to do that. Kind of tell us how Carol Lee affected your program. You bought her out of a National Heifer Sale.
Yeah, we bought her for being a whole purebred heifer that also had really nice JUI udder traits. She mated with some of the sires we wanted to use at that time, and she is a chicken. She just makes gobs of embryos. She's milking, about to go dry, and her first lactation, there'll be pictures and videos of her coming out. just a really all-around amazing cow to work with. And we used Thrasher on her a fair amount, and she seemed to mate well with them. So, it's kind of odd to be buying Thrasher calves, but if you feel like you haven't got enough Thrasher, you kind of know what you're getting. Micah Baker at Rock Bottom had contacted me a few years back and let me know he had 3 polled chief heifers he was trying to sell privately. We made a deal over the phone while I was on vacation, and they came to Pine Tree, and they have been nice embryo producers, and they have a lot of sons in AI, and so we're glad to have this weld calf, which is just a really high health trait and udder whole calf selling. She's a pretty looking calf, and her mother is fresh, hopes to be at the sale, and another fresh cow from that cow family, as well as a nice high Thrasher calf. The nice thing about buying Thrashers and things like that is, although there's a lot out there, you have a solid thing to use different sires on. You can start at the top.
Melissa, this weld calf is again, she's the number 13 JPI pulled heifer in the breed right now. And as Andrew pointed out, her health traits are tremendous. Again, a 7.5 on her productive life, a positive DPR, right at 20 on her JUI, and a low somatic cell score on her. When you put that combination with the polled and with the cow behind her, the 12-6-20 cow, again, a cow that exudes dairy strength. Scored 83 her first time, but she's going to go up next time the appraiser sees her. There's no doubt about that. Again, this is a great opportunity to get into the polled genetics and something a little bit different, being a weld and being polled and with the tremendous health traits.
Yeah, polled genetics are hot. That is definitely something that people are looking for. You've seen in the last year or so, or polled genetics have really been something that people are wanting more and more of, and there's more out there that are being offered. So yeah, I would agree with you there, Greg. How about the 11-861 family, also from Rock Bottom? What's been her influence on the program?
Just going right back to that 12-6-20 chief, just to say one more thing. 8 sons in AI from that cow, chief daughter. You can look them up. And a lot of nice polled and cheese merit influence that could come in the breed and down the road. Switching to 11-861, she was kind of a nice hybrid of her chief daughter, and we're excited to sell her fresh Stony. Not in the catalog, but the Stony is classified or appraised 86 at 110, and she's just a pleasing polled heifer that's fresh to offer.
That would be lot number 12.
Let's move on to lot number 14. Well, 14 through 16, they're from the Chiseled Della family. What's the background on this family, and what effect have they had in your herd?
Yeah, this is one of the first cow families we got into. My brother Ethan's on the phone now. Ethan, do you want to comment on this one?
Yes, we bought the Chiseled Della because of her health traits and cow family. Kind of like Andrew was saying earlier, that theory that we can move our program ahead further if we tap into something that's already of value out there rather than overestimating our own value. So she sold in a Riverview sale. It was one of the really decorated Riverview sales. We bought her as a heifer then, and she was a full sister at the time to the Disco Bull. And then the pedigree after that has been really, really well. But I wanted to focus on the mother of these 2 calves, the Thrasher 2473. She was such a neat first lactation cow. We kept bumping her up into a donor status because of her combination of protein pounds and her overall JPI, and her classification was a rare combination. And then we ended up having a partnership with her, with Mason Zimba, just because they thought that she had a chance to do some things in their program as well. So, yeah, she's just a really fun cow to watch develop.
Her Star-Lord daughter is the number 2 Star-Lord daughter in the breed, and she'll be selling in this sale as lot 16. Already pregnant or served sex fine. So, again, a neat combination there of adding to that GPI that the 2473 cow has, and continuing the using good udder bulls and sound type and just solid animals all the way through that cow family.
You know, breeders will be coming to the sale looking to add to their genetic program and influence on their herd. Skylar 3946 and Viable Vanity also have offspring that will be selling in the sale. Can you tell us first about Skylar 3946. What do you have selling, and how have they been instrumental in your herd?
Cheese merit. These are two of the strong cheese merit heifers. They're both ready to be IVF donors. They're good sized heifers. They're monsters out of the Skylar. We bought the Skylar for $90,000 plus at a JMS sale, and she's just a little workhorse. She's a really strong cow. She's ready to go dry here, or to the calf rather, and she's a very high fat tester. Just an interesting mating of monster on top of this heifer from California.
Both monster calves selling are 90 and 91 pounds of fat, plus on the component percentages, and over 800 pounds of milk. So, again, you talk about components. That's what this cow family has, and again, what the Jersey breed is supposed to be about.
Another cool thing about the monster calves, isn't there I'm not an expert by any means at this, but isn't there a lot of bulls that you can use on those two? A lot of different bulls. It's not just limited, it's more outcross, is it? Or am I wrong?
No, you're correct, Chris. And with proofs coming out, it's going to open up even more opportunities for new bulls that'll be getting proofs and different opportunities to use on these monster calves.
How close are they to being worked? Those two could be pretty well, along with a lot more in the sale. As far as return on investment, you can get it back pretty quick with not just these two, but the entire sale in my mind.
They're 8-9 months old, and they're nice looking, well-grown calves.
They're ready to go.
Yes. Yep, they sure are.
So basically, whether you want to improve your genetic base or you want to improve your pocketbook, I think this is the sale to be at.
Melissa, I wanted to before we go to the olive vanity cow, I wanted to talk about lot 26 and 27. These are two heifers that I think, if I was looking, would attract my interest. They're both pregnant donors. 26 is still developing IVF well. She's a whole Davo with some nice trait combinations. They're both out of very good Gislev daughters out of the Chisel-Della family. 27 is a little different. I just want people to note she is due in 2 months. So she's a heavy springer. She looks pretty nice. But her main interesting thing is that she's a Venetti by a Gislev. Just a chance for anyone to check their programs and see if they have any of those. And if not, here's a chance to get cheese merit and a few other traits from a very different sire stack. Easy to mate on anything.
So let's move on to Viable Vanity.
Back when Ohio held the Jersey Convention a number of years ago, Greg roped some of us into helping get consignments, and we found this vanity heifer as a bred heifer out in California from Ollins, and Greg got her for the sale, and we bought her then, and she's just developed over the years. She's fresh, 5th lactation, I believe. One thing the catalog doesn't say about this 94-point cow is that she is a tremendous IVF donor. She makes a lot of eggs and has very solid pedigree. She's also very good on JUI. She's almost 21 for a really old cow, and she's good somatic self.
And 94 points, she may not be done there. She's just a tremendously well put together cow. Again, strength and dariness, tremendous combination on her. As Andrew said, she's a tremendous embryo producer. The kind of cow that you can take and put into your program, you can make a lot of different things out of her. She may not be the highest GPI, but she's that kind of cow that forms a great base to keep building from. Whether you want to look at some crossover type bulls or keep mating her to high GPI bulls and creating that next generation that you can continue to work from.
I'm going to jump in and echo what Greg just said. I don't think that cow's done at 94. And that's, if you're just looking for a good, solid flush cow to work with and try to make the cows that you want to see at your farm or try to sell, I think she'd be a tremendous investment to make.
Dazzler Lexi. She's got offerings in lot 35 and 36. She's not high JPI, but she is one of the good ones. Why did you guys want to work with a cow like this, and what should buyers know?
Yeah, we had approached them privately about this situation. We were part of the focus on the team right then was to see if we can do some throwbacks from cows that were older and well established with some extreme traits and make some combinations on them and see if there was some value in the breed there. We had tried that with Holsteins in the past, and she was been just really nice to work with. And we bought half interest in the cow and took turns on IVFs, and yeah, it's just been fun to make matings on a cow like that. Easy to point out on her is her DPR and somatic cell. It's easy to notice Jerseys have some room to grow on the information on somatic cell, and so it's nice to find outliers with them.
And Chris, on this cow, wouldn't you say, like, sometimes some of the best show ring cows come from moms or granddams that are just bred for milk? That milk then show, then milk then show, the generational switchback sometimes can make some of the best daughters?
Very, very much so. In today's day and age, in the show ring, you can't just have, as I like to call them, counterfeits. Cows that don't milk, and you just fill their milk with their udders with milk for that day. You can tell which cows milk and which cows don't. And then you put tight, well, it's the simple word we used before is crossover. Just you use high type, and then you throw high milk bull in with good components and a little bit of type and a great DPR, you're going to have some. Because that's where the high type bulls lack, is in the DPR. And sometimes in the somatic cells, and especially calving meats. But if you throw a generation of numbers into them or that are bred that come from the cow families, oftentimes you can catch up and have that great combination out.
Okay, so the dam of Lot 37 is Fire Lake Bionic Blessing. She's also a part of this idea on building on solid cow families. What kind of opportunity does she present to breeders?
Oh, yes. We always liked the Chicolo Blush cow, and 2 years ago, a year and a half ago at the World Dairy Expo at the Jersey sale then, there was an IVF selling from the Bionic, and we tagged into it then just to try to get into this family some more and have a group of monster calves, and this is probably one of the best looking ones in the group.
Again, this heifer was born in September, so she's ready to be IVF'd again with monster in the pedigree. There's a lot of different opportunities. That bottom side of that pedigree, again, we can talk about crossovers. The Bionic Blessing cow, Chicolo Blush is a 95-point cow that she did all right in the show ring in her own right. I think Chris remembers that cow well, selling her a few years back. Just, again, that kind of cow that you can do a lot of different things for breeders.
And you see that cow in the pedigree, it perks your ears up all the time. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the entire family flushes well. So, again, return on investment or better your herd with the genetics selling, the opportunity's there.
Lot 40. She's a cow that you purchased at the Ohio Spring sale from Tierney's. She's got a proven show-winning family back to the 2014 junior champion at Louisville. How have they been a part of growing the Jersey program at Pine Tree?
Sure. So this heifer, ironically, was just purchased as a 4-H project for nephews in the farm. Hannah was the one who kind of found her with Greg's help, and she is a big heifer. She's due to calve in June, and maybe Heather or Greg can talk about what she looks like.
Yeah, we got a great video of her last week. You want a big, strong, open, deep heifer. Nice, solid sound over the back. I think, and everything underneath looks so promising as far as that udder's concerned. She's definitely following in that Tierney's L family. A lot of those cows turn out to be just phenomenal cows, brood cows, show cows, whatever you need. But this heifer's got a ton of promise, and for being as heavily pregnant as she is, she's carrying, what I've always called just baby weight. There's not a lot of extra yearling chub hanging out on her, so when she calves in, she'll be able to milk off that baby weight and get to work pretty quick.
You throw Kid Rock into that pedigree, it's a really sound pedigree all the way through.
I skipped over Lot 39, and we're talking about the show type pedigrees here. The second dam is Vivienne. What's been her influence on the breed in your herd, and why is this young cow so special?
Oh, I'm not sure how we always make our decisions, but last year we kind of got into nuance the bull himself as a strong BPR source and somatic cell for the breed. And it just happened that in a sale in New York, there was this nuanced, very good cow, second lactation selling out of this cow family. And so we grabbed her up there in New York and brought her here. She went excellent in her second lactation and then calved in January and already went 92 third lactation. And I think she's a great milk cow and a great cow to build from. But maybe the other two can talk about what she looks like.
No, I think she's ultra dairy, ultra correct, well deserving of that 92-point score for sure. And I know the Veronica name is synonymous with jerseys, and that T-Bone Vivian was probably, I know this is controversial, probably one of my favorite Veronica descendants, just because you had that milk bull that still made a cow look like that. And this nuance is going to follow in those footsteps so easily.
And here again, that T-Bone Vivian cow, whenever you're selling a daughter or a granddaughter in any of the sales I do, you can see people come to the edge of their chairs because of that branch of the Veronica family. That cow is just in the Jersey breed, she's all but immortalized. And you can tell when a T-Bone Vivian daughter or granddaughter comes in, everybody's got a phone to their ear, it seems like. Almost at every jersey you sell, you have a descendant of this cow. In every jersey sale I sell, anyway. It's a branch of the Veronica family that has never died either. You know how some branches of some cow families, they'll be strong, and then they get weak, and then they get strong, and then they get weak. But not the T-Bone Vivian branch. They stay strong, and a cow like this is why.
I think that from T-Bone Vivian, I don't know if there's been any bull used on her that hasn't made some pretty doggone good. I mean, you talk about transmitting ability. It follows right here with this branch of this family. And they just keep stamping them out generation after generation, time after time.
I agree 100%.
I mean, look at her milk records alone. Calved at 11. Her 31,000-pound record at a 305. I mean, how many of those do you ever see on a pedigree anymore?
It looks doggone good doing it.
Exactly.
Well, I would say a large majority of the crowd that's going to be there might be after that cow. Andrew, Ethan, what else have I missed? What are some other consignments that you want to discuss that maybe I haven't asked about?
I just had two things to comment on. First, lot 38. This is a bit odd to have Holstein pictures in a Jersey catalog, but it's kind of like starting an experiment and then offering it up to the public who would like to push the experiment to the next level. This calf is a result of an F1 by F1 mating. She's BBR 46, and it would be exciting to see a couple more generations of F1 used on her just to see what happens with that kind of breeding. The heifer is a nice, well-built heifer. She's blackish, and she is polled an A2. She comes from a really nice, uddered, medium-sized Holstein. Few generations there, and her mother is an F1 as well.
Going back to our social media plan, this week we'll be highlighting a lot of dams on the farm, and next week we'll be doing a lot of work with our heifer consignment. So there will be plenty of pictures and videos of this heifer to get a good idea of what she looks like. She does look great. I think it's a really interesting concept to run on because these F1s, we've known this for years, they're an incredibly profitable animal to have on your farm. So, the ability to be able to kind of run with that, a well-pedigreed F1, I think is a good opportunity.
Yeah, thinking outside the box.
The last thing I have is just to highlight again for prospective buyers, this is going to be kind of like a show sale in that everything that's selling, every female, will be at the sale. There's no virtual lots, except for obviously the embryos and IVF. Everything's going to be there. It's kind of old style where you can come and take a look at what you like, touch, feel, and inspect them with your eyes and know that what you're getting is safe. If there's any concerns anyone has, feel free to reach out to anyone. And Greg and Heather can talk. They got some nice guest accommodations with food and meals to make everyone have a great experience in Worcester. Thank you.
Yeah, let's talk about what you guys have planned. I know that the sale is going to be at the Wayne County Fairgrounds in Worcester, a very familiar place for a lot of folks. Are there some activity planned for Friday?
During the day, if people are interested in possibly getting a tour of the new robot facility, they can contact one of us, either Heather or myself, or even Jason Robinson, and we'd be able to help get people out there to look that facility over. It's a very well thought out, very well put together facility, not only with the robotic milk, feeding stations and everything, and just a tremendous facility to look at. And as more people switch to robots, it's a place to get some good ideas and look at how they've designed theirs. We will be having a dinner that night, starting about 6 o'clock. It'll primarily be hot dogs, hamburgers, brats, but also there will be a shrimp boil that we'll do that evening. And then we'll have coffee and pastries at the sale on Saturday morning from a new local coffee truck. So we should have everybody covered on what they'll need as far as that goes. Normally use the Quality Inn in Worcester as for accommodations. If people need help getting hotel reservations or anything, just let me know and we'll get them lined up at either that hotel or one of the other local hotels.
Melissa, I just wanted to thank each of you for your part in helping the sale go well. Greg, Heather, and Chris.
Well, I'm incredibly excited about the sale. I love good cattle. I've loved good cattle for a long time, and I love all the opportunities that I've seen. Taking animals for the sale, taking pictures and videos. I mean, you're not going to be disappointed with the lineup that Pine Tree has created to sell on the 13th. You know, there's something for everybody, and all of these heifers that are for sale are from some of the best families that they work with. And that's just a great opportunity for somebody to buy into.
I echo all your comments, Heather. And one thing you can remember, you never go wrong buying good cattle from good people. So I'm looking forward to being here on the 13th and appreciate the invitation.
We were talking about polled before. I want to point out that of the 40 lots in this sale, 16 of these are polled animals. You don't find that in too many sales, that high a percentage of opportunity to buy high genomic polled animals. I think they pointed out in the catalog there's 14 of them are from excellent dams, but none of them are coming from dams that aren't scored very good, at least. Again, it's not often that in today's genomics world that you have that opportunity to have that kind of type in combination with the genomics. So those are tremendous opportunities for people in this sale with polled and high type combining with high genomics. That's pretty unusual, and I'm glad to say we can offer that for buyers in this sale.
We want to thank Ethan and Andrew Steiner, Greg Lavan, Heather Moore, and Chris Hill for stopping in for a few minutes to talk about the Spring Into Opportunity at Pine Tree sale that happens on April 13th at 11 a.m. at the Wayne County Fairgrounds. Cal Buyer will be providing online bidding. This is Melissa Hart for the DAT Extra podcast. Listen to this on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts. I hope you have a great day. We'll see you next time.